will start this meeting of the Local Government Committee, Monday, March the 9th at 9 a.m. And we will begin with approval of minutes. Is there a motion on minutes for 3-2 and 3-4? Representative Essex, is there a second? Seconded by Representative Blex. If there's no discussion, all in favor say aye. All opposed? And done. All right. We do have an opportunity for final action on 2769. And Mr. Revisor, would you remind us of that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, House Bill 2769 was the bill to enact a new statute relating to subordinate service taxing areas and municipalities. This is where a city or a county establishes a service taxing district within the jurisdiction of the city or county to provide the specified services to the residents. Under the bill, if the taxing area also has an appointed governing body, there's a property tax imposed or authorized to be imposed within that taxing area. And the governing body is authorized, to establish a budget and expenditures for the services provided in that area. Then all members of the governing body must be residents of the area that is created by the city or county. This will go into effect on July 1st of this year.
Any questions for remembrance? I would entertain a motion from Vice Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to move House Bill 2769 out favorably for passage.
All right. Is there a second? Seconded by Representative Wolf. And for further discussion? Yes, ma'am. Madam Minority.
I will not be supporting this bill. I've done a lot of research on it since it was heard because it just seemed like we were missing a lot of information, and we in fact are. We know that it targets this library board in Wyandotte County, but there's a lot of concern it could affect fire districts and others throughout the state that we just don't have enough information on. Part of this taxing district wishes to leave the Wyandotte County board, but they've already been given money by that board to set up their own library. That board also pays money to Johnson County Library System so they can use that system. All, I believe, of the UG's boards are set up with this 11-person structure that's appointed by the commissioners and the mayor. And just because you got outvoted doesn't mean you weren't represented. It's the same way if something happens in Overland Park that affects my district, but maybe my people voted against it and everybody else voted for it, except that this bill only applies to the smaller ones. But just because you got outvoted doesn't mean you were taxed without representation. And I'm just really concerned that we have not been given enough information to know what else it affects in the state.
Anyone else? Representative Brownlee Page.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I too will be voting no. Originally, after hearing what I heard here, it sounded like they weren't really represented. And then after much investigation this weekend, I found out a lot of information that we weren't given, and we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing. Thank you.
And anyone else? Okay. Yes, sir.
I would even be open to tabling this so that it can get further information provided and try to catch it even before the session ends.
I would say that tabling it will probably kill it, and that could be an effect that someone desired. But I'm gonna respect you to that. Is there any other discussion pertaining to this, including what you just said? Mr. Vice Chair, would you like to move your motion?
Yeah, I'll move my motion again to pass House Bill 2769 out favorably for passage.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, the ayes appear to have it. Ayes do have it. Recorded vote. Anyone, Representative Brownlee Page would like, and also Representative Slingsiepen. Anyone else? Okay. Thank you. And we open up the next item, and the only other item we have for today is the hearing on SB 396. Mr. Revisor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Senate Bill 396 pertains to a cemetery district down in Sedgwick County. It would authorize the Board of Trustees for the Clearwater Cemetery District to reorganize the district with respect to oversight by the board. The district is currently governed by a 3-member board of trustees. There is a trustee from the city of Clearwater, from the township of Neneska, and from the township of Ohio down there. Senate Bill 396, apparently they've been working to reorganize, but need statutory authority to do so, as the statutes regarding cemetery districts do not allow for this type of reorganization currently. So Senate Bill 396 would allow the board to adopt a resolution and reorganize the district by removing the Ohio Township. And so the 3-member board would then consist of the mayor of Clearwater, the township trustee of Neneska, and then the 3rd member would be elected at large by the voters residing in the cemetery district. The first at-large member election would be held this November in 2026. The bill also authorizes the district to enter into interlocal agreements with the Ohio Township for the care and maintenance of the cemetery plots and distribution of tax revenue to wrap up their end of it. I would also point out that the Senate committee made some amendments you can see in the bill regarding that at-large member position because they're going to need that position prior to the election in November because it goes into effect as soon as the board reorganizes. The Senate added provisions to allow the board to appoint the at-large member just to fill that position until the election in November. It also made an amendment to specify that the election is going to be on a nonpartisan basis for that at-large member position. Also, the reorganization is going to be effective as of January 1st of this year, so it coincides with the beginning of the tax year for tax revenue purposes. With that, I'd be happy to stand for any questions.
Any questions for the revisor? Neneska means little squaw river, Neneska. Any questions? Not any. I heard. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. And we have, I'll open the hearing directly for proponent testimony. We have one proponent first, David Luce of Ohio Township. If you'll come to the mic and introduce yourself and state your case.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and House committee members. It's nice to be here. Let's start out with a short story if you got time. The first time I ever saw the Capitol building, I was coming to Topeka for a state wrestling tournament, a kids tournament. I must have been 8 or 9. My dad drove me up in the morning on a Saturday morning. We were going down Topeka Boulevard. He woke me up. He said, "Son, there's the state Capitol building." So you know it's a sincere story. It was green on top then. So anyway, it's a special place, and never did I ever think I'd be up here talking to all you wonderful people here. So I'm here to support SB 396. My name is David Luce, and I represent the Ohio Township on the Clearwater Cemetery Board. About half of Ohio Township is in the Clearwater Cemetery Board, not the whole township. We only have in our township one small cemetery in there, and this is all in the paper I submitted. So only about half of our people in Ohio pay taxes towards Clearwater Cemetery District. This, I feel like, is a responsible path forward compared to the bill that was submitted last year, because last year we were trying to disorganize the entire cemetery, and after we talked about it, that wasn't really a responsible move. We didn't feel, but we do feel like it's responsible to pull Ohio out. And one of the reasons why is Ohio pays about 27% of the tax base that goes into the Clearwater Cemetery District, with only 2% of the operating costs. So we're putting a lot of money into the Clearwater Cemetery District, and we're not getting a whole lot out of it. Additionally, of the half of Ohio Township that's in the cemetery district, only 2 half lots have been sold to those people since 2023. So Ohio, as the board member of Ohio Township, we want to make sure that the Clearwater Cemetery District is still in a good position to thrive. So some supporting information on that is that there's currently about $500,000 in cash assets on the Clearwater Cemetery District. There's also a fair amount of land that's rented for ag use. And if you take out the Ohio Township tax base, there's still a $47,000 surplus in the budget. The reason for that is we bought some more property to expand the Clearwater Cemetery District. So currently we're saving to make renovations and build that property up. That's all there. All the assets are there to do that. Yeah, I mean, with that, I was respectfully ask that you guys consider passing this bill. I think it's the right thing to do. I don't really believe in paying for something that you don't get anything out of. And I really appreciate your guys' time. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them.
Are there any questions for Mr. Luce? Okay. Thank you for your testimony, David.
Thank you, everybody.
And now we have Bert Usery, Mayor of City of Clearwater. Are you online?
I am.
All right.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you fine.
Okay. Good morning, board. And David, thank you very much. I just want to also support the action that we're trying to take. This has come up over the years several times with Ohio Township. As David mentioned, about half of the township is within the district. There are 4 cemeteries in this district. 2 of them sit in Ninneskah. The major cemetery sits in the city of Clearwater, and there's 1 cemetery that sits in the Ohio Township, which is actually titled to the city of Clearwater. We have, in a day and time when taxation is important to everybody, you have the Ohio Township that's being taxed to support a cemetery district that they really have no real effectiveness on. Having David and the township serving on the board has been very helpful for us to make progress. But as he also mentioned, the loss of their income into the tax base will not be a deterrent to us to be successful moving forward. Between the city and the Ninneskah Township, I see no issues whatsoever with us being able to continue to build out the new cemetery that he spoke of. And so I don't see any reason in the world that this would not be considered positively. We have a half of a township that is being taxed for something that they have no benefit in. And so I support that 100%. And so I too would stand for questions.
Thank you, sir. Committee? People seem pretty settled for the moment. So thank you, sir, for your testimony. And I'm sure we'll get back with you. Or you can.
Thank you very much.
What goes on. Thank you. Any other proponent testimonies to be given? Not seeing or hearing any, I will move on to neutral. Are there any neutral testimonies to be given regarding SB 396? Not seeing any. Are there any opponent testimonies? I'm sorry. Okay. Are there any opponent testimonies to be given, either online or in the audience? Okay. Not seeing any, I will close the hearing almost after I hear from Representative Pishney. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for your indulgence. I just want to make sure that we're clear, and I'd be remiss as a local government representative that I wouldn't ask this question, but to the reviser, the reason we're being asked for action on this is because that the Clearwater Cemetery District was established through statute, and we're revising statute. Am I clear on that?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, yes, the Clearwater Cemetery District was organized and created by statute. The primary issue is the reorganization that they have come to an agreement on. There's no provision under current law for the board to reorganize the cemetery district in the fashion that they've agreed upon. And so you have Senate Bill 396 authorizing that reorganization.
Thank you for that. I think you said some of that in your previous comments, but I just think it's always good for us to realize why a specific subject is coming to this committee. And there's a legitimate reason in this case, and that's what I wanted to emphasize. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Collins.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I just noticed you said the new board member or the would become elected position. You said on the 2020, what year election would that be on?
The first election would be this fall.
Okay, so I mean, I brought this up on other bills. Local elections are usually on odd numbered years.
Yes, I believe it was 26, though, since the reorganization was planned, I believe, as soon as the bill becomes effective and they can reorganize, at which point they would have that at-large member. And so I think I let the conferee speak to it, but I believe they'd want that elected official done as quickly as possible.
All right. And then would that revert back to odd numbered years then?
I believe it would be based on whatever the term of the member is, whether it's I'm not sure if it's a 4-year term or not. That might be a part of the reorganization resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Reviser, and I'll recognize Mr. Luce if you come to the microphone.
I can shed a little bit of light on that. So Bert is on an odd year, or he's on the midterm election cycle, and the two Ohio representative, or the Ohio and the Nenasko representative, are on the presidential election. Sorry for my terminology, but I think you guys get what I'm saying. So they are staggered. So this new member, in my opinion, should be staggered with the Nenasko Township representative.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, sir. Not seeing anyone else. Now I will close the hearing on SB 396. And we have no other business for today. We will most likely take final action on 396 on Wednesday. We don't have any other bills assigned to us at this point. The leadership may send some our way, so stay tuned. We will be, when I post on the call of the chair, I mean that unless you hear from otherwise, we're not having a meeting. So, but for Wednesday we will, and then next week we will have opportunities on Monday. So, all right, and we are adjourned. Thank you.